First of all, most historians will agree that the two founding pillars of Western civilization are Athens and Jerusalem. By Athens, of course, we mean the legacy of classical Greece and Rome, and by Jerusalem we mean Judaism and also Christianity. These are the two sort of anchors on which Western civilization was built. And the ideas of Western civilization come out of one or other tributary of the West. Some people think they come out of a hybrid of Athens and Jerusalem, but we can actually reasonably trace particular ideas in the West to one or the other. So first of all, we can ask the idea of the individual. Was that a powerful idea in ancient Greece and Rome before Christianity? No. True, you have powerful individuals. For example, on the Greek stage, we have Oedipus, who's an individual in his own right, but individualism is essentially scarce in ancient Greece and Rome. What about the idea of freedom, of liberty, of property, of contracts, of free trade? None of this can be found anywhere, really, in ancient Greece and Rome, certainly not in any sort of systematic sense in those civilizations, which are actually defined by imperialism, conquest, force, mass-scale slavery in the case of Rome. The Spartans, of course, would deposit the sick child on the hillside, happy to find it dead in the morning. Infanticide, euthanasia, pederasty, these were extremely common in, you may say, Athens. So, if these libertarian or objectivist ideas cannot easily be traced to Athens, where do they come from? The answer, in fact, the only answer, is that they have their roots in Jerusalem. Now, at first glance, this may seem incredible, the idea of reason, of the individual, of property being somehow a Christian legacy. But when you begin to look a little more closely at history, you see that it's actually quite true. Take, for example, the fact that we're having this debate right now, where? In a university. Who started the university system? Was it founded in the Enlightenment? Nonsense. The first universities were started in medieval Europe. They grew out of the system of monasteries that dotted the continent before universities got started. And the first universities, the University of Paris, the University of Bologna, and of course later in America, Harvard, Yale, Princeton. Have you noticed that of the 8 Ivy League colleges, 7 of them were explicitly started as Christian institutions? It's not an accident. They might have been started by this denomination or that, but my point is these were universities explicitly started not just by Christians, but with a Christian mission, which gives you some sense that this idea of reason, far from being hostile to Christianity, was seen as completely consistent with it.